Ladies, let me ask you something personal. Are you making these 8 stupid mistakes that nearly every older woman makes without even realizing it? Doctors have been warning us, but most of us aren't listening. These aren't little slip-ups, they're life destroyers. And trust me, I've seen too many dear friends suffer because of them. Stick with me until the end, because number 8, it's the one that cost me the most, and I don't want you to go through what I did. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which of these mistakes surprised you most. 1. Ignoring loneliness and pretending it's fine. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, loneliness. I'm not talking about just being alone. I'm talking about that deep, gnawing ache in your chest that creeps in when the house is too quiet, the phone doesn't ring, and no one seems to notice you're not around anymore. It's easy to pretend we're fine. We've been raised to be tough, to not complain. We think admitting loneliness makes us weak. But here's the truth. Loneliness is killing us. Did you know that doctors now say chronic loneliness is as harmful as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day? And it's not just emotional damage, it actually increases your risk for high blood pressure, dementia, stroke, and early death. I didn't believe that at first. I thought, how can sitting at home with my puzzles and tea be dangerous? But over time, I started sleeping poorly. My memory got worse. I felt constantly tired, even though I wasn't doing much. Then my doctor asked me one question that stopped me cold. When's the last time you had a genuine conversation that made you feel seen? I couldn't answer. It had been months. That's when I realized I had to do something. I started small, calling an old friend once a week, joining a senior book club, even smiling at strangers when I went for walks. It wasn't easy, but slowly the fog lifted. Please, don't let yourself rot in silence. Connection is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. If you're feeling lonely right now, pause this video and make a plan to talk to someone today. It could be the start of saving your own life. 2. Putting everyone else first, even when we're exhausted. Now this one hits hard, doesn't it? If you're anything like me, you've probably spent decades taking care of others. You cooked meals when you were bone-tired, stayed up worrying about grown kids, babysat grandkids even when your back ached, and said yes when your body and soul were screaming no. Why do we do this? Because we were taught it's what good women do. We believe if we say no, we're selfish. But what no one told us is that constantly giving without boundaries is a form of self-destruction. Let me tell you what happened to my friend Carla. She was the rock of her family, cooked every holiday meal, took care of her husband during his illness, raised 2 grandchildren when her daughter struggled with addiction. Everyone leaned on her, but no one noticed she was falling apart. Her health declined fast. One day, she collapsed from exhaustion in her own kitchen. At the hospital, the doctor told her, "You're severely anemic, your blood pressure's dangerously low, and you've been under extreme stress for years." She hadn't been taking care of herself at all. That was her wake-up call. She started saying no more often. She made time for her own appointments, her hobbies, even little things like sitting in silence for 15 minutes a day. And guess what? Her family didn't fall apart. They actually started respecting her more. Sister, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're always last on your list, something has to change. It's not selfish, it's survival. 3. Avoiding technology and losing your voice in the world. I used to be proud of how old-fashioned I was. No smartphone, no email, no silly social media. I used to laugh and say, if people want to talk to me, they can call. But over time, the world moved on, and I got left behind. I missed out on photos of my great-grandson's birthday because they were shared in a family group chat I wasn't part of. I didn't get the online RSVP to my niece's wedding, and everyone thought I didn't want to come. That hurt. And the worst part? I didn't even know how to fix it. When I finally sat down with my granddaughter and said, "Can you show me how this works?" She nearly cried, not out of frustration, out of joy. She said, "Grandma, I've been waiting for you to ask for years." Technology can feel overwhelming, I get it, but avoiding it isolates us. It makes us vulnerable. Even doctors now use online portals for test results and appointments. If you're not on email or can't text, you're left out of vital communication. And here's the surprising part. Learning technology strengthens your brain. It creates new neural pathways. It delays memory loss. It makes you feel relevant again. Start simple. Learn to use video calls. Join a Facebook group for women your age. Watch tutorials. You don't need to be a tech genius, just willing. Because in today's world, avoiding technology doesn't keep you safe. It makes you invisible. 4. Skipping strength training because we're too old. For years I thought strength training was for athletes and young people with sculpted arms. What good would lifting weights do for an old woman like me? I chuckle. I was more focused on walking and stretching, but then something terrifying happened. I fell. Just a small trip in the garden, but I couldn't get up. My arms weren't strong enough to push myself up. My knees buckled. I laid there, crying in humiliation, until a neighbor came and helped me. That moment shattered my confidence. When I told my doctor, she didn't scold me. She prescribed me a strength plan. Just 10 minutes a day with light dumbbells, resistance bands, chair squats. Simple movements to build muscle. Within 3 months, I was steadier. Within 6, I had energy I hadn't felt in years. Doctors say muscle loss accelerates after 60, especially in women. And without strength, we lose our balance, our independence, our freedom. It's not just about looking fit, it's about staying out of a nursing home. Strength training reduces falls, improves bone density, boosts metabolism, and helps with arthritis. And no, you're not too old. In fact, you're the perfect age to start. Don't wait for a fall or a fracture to take action. Your future self will thank you every time you get up out of a chair without help. 5. Ignoring urinary symptoms out of embarrassment. Let's get uncomfortable for a moment. Leaking when you sneeze, rushing to the bathroom and still not making it. Waking up 3, 4, even 5 times a night just to pee. If you've dealt with this and thought, well, this is just part of getting older, then you're not alone. But you're also very wrong. This mistake is one I made personally. For years, I lived with shame. I stopped wearing light-colored pants. I memorized the location of every public restroom. I avoided road trips and long walks, all because I was too embarrassed to talk to my doctor about something that happens to millions of women. Here's the truth. Urinary incontinence is common, but it's not normal. It's not something we have to put up with because we've had children or passed a certain age. Doctors say untreated incontinence leads to chronic skin infections, sleep disruption, and even dangerous falls when we rush to the bathroom at night. And there are solutions, so many more than I ever knew. Pelvic floor therapy, bladder training, medication, even simple dietary changes. After just 8 sessions with a women's health physio, my symptoms improved dramatically. And more importantly, I got my freedom back. Don't let embarrassment keep you silent. If you can talk about your back pain or your blood pressure, you can talk about your bladder. The only person judging you is you. 6. Downplaying chest pain or fatigue because it's probably nothing. We women are experts at minimizing our symptoms. We say, I'm just tired. It's stress. I haven't been sleeping well. But did you know that most older women who suffer heart attacks never report chest pain? Their symptoms are subtle: shortness of breath, nausea, jaw discomfort, dizziness, and especially fatigue. Let me tell you about my cousin Denise. She was always strong, ran her household like a machine, but for about 2 weeks she complained of being unusually tired. She thought maybe it was the weather, maybe she was just low on iron. One morning she fainted in the kitchen. She had suffered a silent heart attack, and she never made it to the hospital. When her daughter told me, I just sat there in shock. Denise never smoked. She wasn't overweight, but she had ignored the signs, just like most of us would. Doctors warn that women tend to tough it out. We're caretakers. We don't want to be a burden. But that mindset, It's deadly. If you feel new, unusual, or persistent symptoms, go in, get the test, rule it out. I'd rather feel silly for going in with nothing than be buried for ignoring something fatal. Listen to your body. It whispers before it screams. 7. Relying on willpower instead of a routine. Motivation fades. Willpower is a muscle, and for most of us, it's exhausted. You know what actually keeps us going? Routine. Not discipline, not guilt, just simple built-in structure. I used to wake up and let the day pull me around like a rag doll. No plan, no anchor. Some days I wouldn't even get out of my pajamas until noon. It didn't feel like a big deal until I realized I was slowly fading into apathy. Days blurred together. My mind felt foggy, my body sluggish. Then my doctor suggested I create a morning routine, just something consistent. I started with 3 simple things. Drink a glass of warm water with lemon. Do 10 minutes of stretching. Write down 3 things I wanted to do that day, no matter how small. That routine saved me. It gave my day a shape, a rhythm, and most importantly, a sense of control. Researchers say routine improves mental health, reduces anxiety, and even supports better sleep. It gives the brain a sense of safety and predictability, something we all need more of as we age. So if you're relying on feeling like it to get things done, stop. Build systems that support you, especially on the hard days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Your routine becomes your anchor when the waves come crashing in. 8. Letting regret control your future. This one is the most painful to admit. For years, I let regret run my life. I thought about the things I should have done, taken that trip, forgiven my sister, spoken up for myself in my marriage, hugged my son tighter before he left for university. Regret is a slow poison. It eats away at joy. It whispers lies that say it's too late. And as the years go on, it only gets heavier. But here's what I've learned. Regret is not a life sentence, unless you make it one. Doctors warn that chronic regret and rumination contribute to depression, cognitive decline, and even physical illness. Our thoughts can shape our bodies. That bitterness, it shows up in our sleep, our digestion, our mood, our posture. I finally got tired of carrying it, so I started journaling, not fancy writing, just scribbling things I wish I could say, and then forgiving myself for not saying them. I began making amends where I could, and most importantly, I started focusing on what I can still do. One of my mentors said this to me: if you're not dead yet, then your story isn't over. Don't waste today mourning yesterday. Regret has no power over a woman who decides to live.